Welcome back here on Live Now from Fox 109 on the East Coast and 1009 on the West Coast. I do want to get you back to this breaking news that we have been following out of Central Florida. Specifically, this is over in Lake County, Florida. That is where a sheriff's deputy has died after he was shot and became trapped inside a home while responding to a disturbance call Friday night. This is over in Eustis, Florida. We know that 2 other deputies were also shot while attempting to rescue that deputy. That's according to the Lake County Sheriff's Office. Our Fox 35 Orlando team has been covering this from the get-go, and I do want to play their team coverage for you.
Turning now to that breaking news, Lake County is mourning the loss of a deputy this morning. He was shot and killed after the sheriff says he was ambushed at a house last night. It happened near Brookside Drive in Eustis, near State Road 44 and County Road 439. It's a rural part of the county not far from the Ocala National Forest. We have team coverage for you this morning. Let's start with Fox 35's Matt Trezza, who has a timeline of what happened. Matt.
Yeah, that's right. And so deputies are still on scene. They are still investigating. There's still police tape up. A lot of unanswered questions at this time, but we can tell you that the sheriff's office says there's nobody on the run, nobody that they are looking for. All the players are accounted for at this point, and right now it's just a search for answers as to how this all started and how things got to where they did. Now, deputies say this all started at around last night when they got a 911 call about a disturbance on the street. Once they got there, they found a house with the back door kicked in and noise coming from inside. They went in and were met with a, quote, hail of gunfire that hit one deputy. The sheriff's office sent a SWAT team to the house as they tried to rescue the deputy who was shot. 2 more deputies were also shot. When they finally got into the house, responders found 2 people dead and a 3rd injured. The sheriff's office says they're still investigating how they died and what the disturbance was about. The first deputy who'd been shot was pronounced dead. The other 2 deputies were taken to hospitals in the area. Sheriff Peyton Grinnell talked about the case at a news conference.
When the deputies entered the home, there was a lot of gunfire where one of the deputies was struck. The backup deputy that was there with him was able to retreat out of the home. The first deputy was trapped inside of the home.
We've reached out to the sheriff's office for the latest information on this case. They haven't released to us the names of any of the people who were in the house who were shot or any of the deputies who were shot as well, or the deputy who passed away. They say that deputy had a long commitment and relationship with the sheriff's office here. He was part of their Explorers program, which is a program for teenagers who are interested in law enforcement. They also say he was a military veteran, and they say that this is the first deputy to lose their life in the line of duty in Lake County since February of 2005. Live in Lake County, Matt Trezza, Fox 35 News.
Matt, on top of the story for us all morning long. Thank you. The 2 hurt deputies were taken to HCA Lake Monroe Hospital in Sanford. That's where Fox 35's Amanda McKenzie has an update on their conditions this morning.
At last check, we're told that 1 deputy is in critical condition after undergoing surgery for gunshot wounds to his groin, armpit, and stomach area. And the 2nd deputy being treated here, we're told he was shot in the shoulder and is in stable condition. We'll be sure to update you on their conditions as we get more information, but we're certainly thinking about those 2 deputies recovering here this morning. Now, overnight, our cameras captured several law enforcement officers embracing, hugging, and standing outside the hospital entrances. The Lake County Sheriff's Office tells Fox 35 that the 2 injured deputies were shot while trying to rescue their fallen deputy who was shot to death. Fox 35 spoke with a Eustis man who lives nearby where the shooting happened and heard some of the gunfire.
I just heard gunfire. 2. I just heard 2 rounds go off, and there's more cops showing up now.
The names of the 2 injured deputies have not yet been released. We will continue to check in on their condition here at HCA Lake Monroe Hospital. The Lake County Sheriff's Office tells us the deceased deputy was taken by ambulance to the Advent Health Waterman Hospital in Tavares. Law enforcement officers from other cities and counties have been expressing their prayers for recovery and their condolences to the family of that fallen deputy. We'll be sure to update you on this breaking news event, both on air and online. Reporting in Sanford, Amanda McKenzie, Fox 35 News.
A big thank you there to our Fox 35 Orlando team, as they have been covering this all throughout the day since the information started to come in. As you saw in their reporting right there, we did hear from the sheriff, a very brief news conference that was held with the latest information. Do want to play that for you here, raw and unfiltered.
Thank you for being here. I'm going to speak to what we know at this time. This is a very fluid scene right now. Multiple agencies helping out. Florida Department of Law Enforcement is here conducting an investigation, but this all started around 8 o'clock earlier off of Brookside Drive, where we received a call of a disturbance that was in progress. The deputies responded, and while they were conducting their investigation, they were alerted to a home, we believe a couple houses down, that there was a problem there. And the deputies went to that home and saw what appeared to be the back door kicked in, and they could hear a disturbance inside of that home. When the deputies entered the home, there was a lot of gunfire, where one of the deputies was struck. The backup deputy that was there with him was able to retreat out of the home. The first deputy was trapped inside of the home. Multiple deputies responded at that time. They immediately formed a rescue team to go back in to attempt to get the deputy sheriff that was still inside the home. And they were just met with a hail of gunfire, a lot of gunfire, where another deputy sheriff was struck at that time. They were able to retreat. Obviously, we mobilized our SWAT team, knowing that we were dealing with a scene with a lot of firepower against us. The first deputy that was struck in the shoulder, I've been told, is in stable condition now. The second deputy that was struck, he was struck in the armpit as well as in the groin and the stomach area multiple times, underwent surgery, and is in serious critical condition. And I was just informed a little bit ago that the third deputy that was shot has passed away. Those notifications have been made. I will not get into specifics at this time of the names of the deputies. All of this is being investigated by the Florida Department of Law Enforcement. The individuals that were inside of the home, 2 are deceased, and 1 was transported. I do not know the condition of the one that was transported, but 2 of the suspects, if you will, that were inside the home are deceased, and 1 was transported out. With that, I'll take any questions.
What kind of call was this, Sheriff? Was this domestic? I mean, once your deputies got in there in that barrage of bullets, what was the situation? What happened?
So obviously all of that's being looked into. All I can tell you is it was a very violent scene. The deputies went to that home to conduct a well-being check at the request of the complainant. That was the original disturbance call, and they could hear a lot of commotion going on in there, and that was the reason they entered the home. And as I stated, they were met with a volley of gunfire.
Sheriff, the deputy that has unfortunately passed away, can you clarify, was that the first deputy to enter the home? Yes. Who was stuck inside? That
is correct. That deputy sheriff, I won't mention his name right now, has been with us for quite a while. Started out as a young explorer, as a military veteran, and just horrific when you have one of your own inside of a home and you can't get to them.
Are there words you can offer to this community? We have been waiting out here. We have seen people who are waiting along with us who have had so much concern for your deputies and your staff tonight.
Yeah, this is a great community. You know, it was February of 2005 was the last time we lost a deputy sheriff in Lake County, so it's been a long time, thankfully, but tonight here we are again. But the community outpour has been great.
Considering the barrage of bullets and the situation that your deputies were under, how were you able to get the suspects finally? Because we saw from Chopper 2 basically a hole that was knocked in the side of the house. Even under the fierce conditions, how were you able to complete this?
You know, we have equipment for that, and that's the reason we have this equipment. And we tore the home apart to get in there so we could get that deputy out of there. It was just it was a chaotic scene from the start until the end.
Were the assailants deceased when you entered the home?
2 of the assailants were deceased upon SWAT entering the home. and the third one's been transported.
And this was an initial disturbance at a different home.
That's correct, in the very near proximity.
Were they related?
That's all being looked at right now.
And it's safe to say there's no longer a threat to the public on this road?
No, we do not believe that there's any threat to the public. Everybody that was involved is accounted for and in custody.
We saw a number of law enforcement agencies assist. At what point were they called in? How did that kind of play out?
You know, when a law enforcement officer is shot, especially here in the state of Florida, you don't have to ask for help. They show up. You know, Sheriff Woods for Marion County, FDLE, had the FBI here helping, alcohol, tobacco, and firearms, many agencies here. And that's what we do. We come together for this, and it's going to be a long time before we get back to a sense of normal.
And as far as the families are concerned of the deputies injured, the deputies killed, I know it's a tough time for them. You've been able to talk to them, Sheriff?
I have our critical incident stress management team with them. When I leave you, that's where I'm going.
Anything else you want to add? Because this has been a tough situation, and I know it's tough for the men and women in blue and black in a situation like this because you're all family.
Yeah, I would just ask that you keep the men and women of this agency and law enforcement in general in your prayers. They have a tough job, and we lost one tonight.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your
message to the community.
I'm sorry?
A quick message to the community.
Yeah, I'd like to just say thank you for all of the prayers and all of the text and emails and the phone calls that we're getting in support of the deputy sheriffs. So thank you very much for that.
Sheriff, one question. Was this house known to your deputies? Is there any kind of history at this house?
Well, the history that we found so far, really, it's animal complaints. Our animal enforcement unit's been out there for a couple times, but we don't show anything as of right now. We don't show anything of any violent crime.
So no way they expected anything like this to happen tonight?
They were ambushed.
But again, it was a well-being check on one house, a barrage of bullets in another, and they started shooting at your deputies first?
Actually, we went to a disturbance at one house. The initial call was for a disturbance, and then while we were on that scene, somebody at that scene told the deputies they needed to go to the other house, that's where there was a problem happening, and when they got there, they saw what appeared to be a door kicked in, and there was some commotion in the home, and they were just met with a lot of gunfire.
Was it a domestic call, a domestic disturbance call?
No, the original call was just a disturbance in the neighborhood.
Sheriff, that second home, did your crews find anything else concerning inside of that house?
I can tell you, upon the initial sweep of the SWAT team, there's multiple firearms inside of that home, everything from long guns to handguns.
Is that why we saw EOD?
We always have EOD come out when we're doing an entry on a home because you just don't know what you're going to enter into.
How long was this deputy on the force, sir?
I don't have all the specifics right now, and I just want to be careful about talking about that until I make sure all of the family's notified.
The two suspects who were deceased at that scene, were they killed by law enforcement fire?
That's all being looked at by FDLE. I don't know if it was our deputies that shot the two that were deceased, or if it was a murder-suicide, which we see in these type of situations.
And lastly, the deputy that was airlifted to Waterman, is that the deputy that died?
No, ma'am. I believe the deputy that passed away was ground transported.
Have there been previous calls to this house in the past? I mean, let's talk about this street and this community here.
Yeah, the only calls that were showing that we had a reason to go out to that particular area was for animal enforcement complaints.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Sheriff, can you confirm that there is one of the deputies at Waterman Hospital? We've been told that there's quite a large law enforcement presence there tonight. And is that related to this?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Thank you.